What is up and welcome back, guys. It's been a long time no see. Anyways, as you guys probably have saw, or maybe some of you, especially if you're local, winter decided to come early. It is still September. It is 1 degree out and there's snow on the ground in some places. So it actually snowed last night, and north of us, just a couple hours, they had even more snow. They actually had probably 8 centimeters, which is like 3-4 inches maybe, I'm not quite sure, of snow, and it's still September, so kind of cut the season short. But supposedly we're supposed to be getting some nice weather, and it's coming next week, so hopefully we'll get some good weather. So we can still take out Project Daily, because Project Daily with the R compound tires don't do so well in cold weather. Second of all, I've been waiting on parts to make the splitter rods for the splitter. That's the only thing we've been waiting on. Anyways, I finally got them, so today I'll show you exactly how you can make your DIY splitter rods. They're way cheaper and they're way more customizable than any of your APR or Track Junkie products. Also, if you notice, Project Daily isn't on jacks anymore, so I have to lift it back up. And that is because last video we worked on Adrian's car actually, and we ended up making it super loud. We straight piped it, so we had to get all the jack stands I had, and we had to put Project Daily back on the ground. So I will be putting these on jack stands maybe today, so we can get to putting on the front splitter. Also, I've been really busy with projects. School has started and I've been 5 classes, and I actually have 5 different projects going on right now in the first week. So hopefully we'll be able to do some time management and be able to still produce some good quality content for you guys. Anyways, so I did get the gold wrap also for the splitter so we don't melt it on the headers. So the splitter, I'm actually kind of worried because it might actually melt because I don't have good heat wrap. Other people with race cars do have really good heat wrap. I have like barely any heat wrap on my headers. So we're gonna put this on and hopefully we don't melt the splitter. In this box contains all the things we need to make the splitter. It's from a company, actually an American company called McMaster, and they're the best company ever. As I said a while ago, it took me a whole day to go around stores here in Calgary, and I couldn't find any parts. Well, I found them all on McMaster, and I ordered them. The shipping's a little bit expensive and it's US dollars, but still it's worth it. Actually, I probably got more for the amount of money I spent, and it's literally 1-day shipping. They ship it with Pure Later Air, so pretty much air service from Ontario. So it literally takes a door to arrive at your door and you have the right parts. To make your own DIY splitter rods, first you're going to need some threaded rod. You can choose depending on the size you want and the thickness you want. You can actually choose stainless or just plain steel, or even black oxidized. I went with stainless steel. All the parts in this box are stainless steel. I thought might as well go the extra little bit, not the full-on black hardware, but just a little bit more to make it look a little better. Next, you're going to need what is pretty much a ball joint. So it's like a little tiny tie rod end, and it actually threads onto this rod here. So make sure your threads line up. This is a normal size, but you can actually go left hand, and then make sure you have the right size diameter. And then to attach it to your bracketing, what you're actually going to make, you're going to need one of these pins with a little hairpin on it. It's kind of hard to see, but this allows you to essentially have quick disconnect splitter rods, which is also an additional, more expensive feature on performance ones. And then right now, for the way I think I'm going to try to do it, I got some brackets, some flat brackets. What I'm essentially going to do is I'm going to bend them up and make a U, and that should work. I just got to check on the diameter here. If not, you can always make your own brackets out of like 20 gauge strapping metal. And then we got some nice bolts right here. I chose to go with a nice hex smooth rounded end so that it's fairly aerodynamic, and I made sure this is the perfect length for our uses. Some just normal size washers. I might end up going to grab some bigger ones, but these are the ones that will fit perfectly with this. And last but not least, we have some nuts that thread onto here and here. So essentially how we're going to make this is we're going to take our threaded rod, we're going to take one of our nuts, we're going to thread the nut onto the rod, and then put it just a little bit, and then take your, pretty much your tie rod end, or your ball joint, and then screw that on, and this will allow you to tighten down this without losing it. So there we go, have it there, and you can tighten it down with a wrench once you have it installed. And then once you have this on, what you're going to do, once this is bent into a U, it's going to be sitting right there. You're going to run this through here and here. So then it goes through there, and then it'll be a U, so you run it through the other side too. Then you take your cotter pin and just put it through the pin, and there you go. You actually have it held on. So as I was saying, this isn't perfectly level. It kind of has a little bit of play, but it won't come out, so that's not the worry. It's just it's got a little bit of play. So what I might end up doing is just putting a washer or just leaving it, because actually it looks nice and smooth there. And then essentially what you do is you do the exact same thing on the other side and where you're mounting it to your bumper. Because the bumper beam and the splitter are so far away, I went with a 2-foot long rod. So I'll probably end up cutting it down. I think I need like 14 or 16 inches depending on how I angle it. So you can go, if you're doing a shorter one, get a 1-foot rod, or you can even go smaller, or you can go get just a really big one and cut it into pieces that you need. You just need to make sure that you have a bolt in so you can unscrew the bolt and maintain the threads. In order to show you guys better, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bend the brackets right now so I can show you the full complete setup for the splitter. Then we might lift up Project Daily and just mock it up. So what I did is I marked my little bracket here. Which I did is I put a bolt on, seeing how long the bolt was on each side, made sure I had enough clearance, and then took a square and then squared them off. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to move to the vise. We're going to put them in the vise essentially and just bend them so that they fit. Super easy, and these are like 40 cents, so if I'm not even, I think the whole set of 8 was actually only 40 cents maybe, or 80 cents, so that if I mess one of these up, it's not that big of a deal. And also you can get these at pretty much any hardware store. There you go, you have your U bracket, which you put on the end right here, and it holds it in place and onto the splitter. So essentially with a couple parts and about 10 minutes of bending some metal, you essentially have your own custom-made aerodynamic rods, and this is similar to what they do on time attack cars. Actually, I was doing some research, and a lot of them just use threaded rod and some of the stuff. They obviously have better ways of bending some metal, but honestly, it works, and all you really got to do is you got to drill your hole for right here to mount it into your car or mount it into the splitter itself. But that really depends on what you want to do for mounting. A lot of people that actually make them out of wood, they actually use these T-bolts that actually like dig into the wood, and then they have multiple mounting positions. So depending on the track, they can adjust their aerodynamics on the fly. Unfortunately, because we're using plastic, those bolts won't work. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use some of the nuts and bolts that we have here to make it. That is going to be it for today, but we finally have these splitter rods. Also, these splitter rods, if I end up like breaking the lip or breaking the rods themselves, they're not as expensive to replace. Like if I get APR rods, the ones I need are the 120 US dollars, so like 140, 150 up here, where this was probably 50 bucks Canadian. And also when you break one, you have to order 2. So this is just more efficient, it's more customizable, and in the end, it's just better for the setup. But that is gonna be it for the day. So until next time, peace out and stay humble.